you was here yesterday, we're going to work on just a lot of transitional stuff that we went over yesterday. So a lot of movement, just like how to get from place to place efficiently without spending too much energy, but still exposing your opponent and putting them in bad positions. So we're going to use all of this stuff to get warm as well, okay? So we're going to use this as a combination of a warm-up and a technique today. Here's how we're going to start this movement, okay? This movement, the key movement that we're going to get from today is called the windshield, all right? It's just the key movement that we're going to be working on today. How we can use the windshield to be efficient and move around our opponent. So the first thing we're going to do, for this first drill, I don't want you guys to worry about the windshield too much. You're going to learn it as the class goes on. This leg is going to be up, and this leg is going to be down. The top player's objective here now is simply just, I'm going to lead with my head here into this space, and I'm going to base my hand on the floor, coming through here. Notice that as I'm coming through, I'm dropping my knee over his leg. Here, all right? This hand stays on the outside. My head is here on the inside, okay? For the purpose of this first drill, if you guys know how to windshield, I want you to windshield. Your opponent's going to swing, and you're going to go back through the other side, basing your hand on the floor, leading with your head, and windshielding. So the drill should look like this. The person on the bottom each time is switching their hips, making sure that they can meet you. So look, as the person on the bottom is switching their hip, they need to meet you, okay? If the person on the bottom is too slow, they're going to slow down the whole drill. So it's really important that the person on the bottom is exchanging their hips every single time you go through. If you don't know how to windshield and you've never done the windshield before, I want you to enter this exact same position, base your hand on the floor, and just hop through. Cool? Yeah? Let's do it, guys. 1, 2. Grab your partners, guys. Let's make it happen. So don't worry, guys, if you didn't fully get the technique. By the end of the class today, you'll understand how to windshield. I just want you guys to get warm and get some of the basic core movements into play, all right? So we're gonna have another go at this. Now, this time we're gonna go over the legs, okay? Previously, we were here in this space. I'll add some context to some of these movements in a second. But previously we were here, okay? This time we're not gonna be here. I'm gonna be looking to pin this leg down to the floor. All right, so I'm not gonna be going through this time. I'm going to be going over. So what we're going to look to do now is I'm going to drop my knee over his shins, okay? My knee's going to hit the floor, and my toes are still going to be engaged. Here. Now for ease, all we're going to do is I'm going to base my hands on the floor, and I'm going to take my feet, this foot here, which is currently pinning his shin to the floor, I'm going to remove it, look. But before I do that, I need to make the lower half of my body light. So to do that, I'm going to put all the weight in my hands. Okay, now it becomes easy to manipulate my feet. Okay, when I'm heavy on my feet, it's quite hard because all my weight is back into my heels. I can't do that movement. I'll hurt my knees, I'll hurt myself, right? So I need to lean my weight forward. And now my feet become light, but I can still apply pressure with it. And now look, I can easily switch my foot to the other side. Okay, so our drill is going to look like this. We're going to be on the top. We're going to pin. I'm going to go over the top, and I'm just going to switch. He's going to turn towards me. I'm going to pin the leg here and switch. Notice how I base my hand on the floor there to make my leg light. All right, you don't always have to put both hands on the floor. Okay, you want to be efficient here. So look, I'm here, pinning, here, and just switching over. I'm not jumping. This is the thing you need to understand. I'm not jumping over my opponent. If I jump over my opponent, I create too much space where he can stop me. Look, if I'm here and I jump, there's too much space, Jerome can follow me, and it's not going to work effectively. So there's a reason why I'm keeping everything nice and tight with this windshield. I'm going over the top, his legs are pinned, he can't move his hips so well. Now as I switch around, look, there was never a point where I lost connection with him. I stayed connected to him the whole time. The benefit for me though, is I'm now on the outside. I'm now in a position where I can start looking to attack the back and put him in trouble because his back's exposed. Look, at one point, both of my knees are on the floor. You see? Both of my knees are on the floor and it allows me to pivot in this space to do this movement that I need to do. So look, one leg comes off, the other leg comes on, and I switch sides, still applying pressure. But for the sake of the drill, I'm gonna allow him to turn back into me. I'm gonna do the same thing again. That's our drill. Make sense? Cool. Let's do it, guys. 1, 2. Yeah, pin the leg down and go back over again. Fantastic. Switching your feet. Good. For the new drill we're going to do now, it's going to be a combination of the first two. We're going to be on the outside. We're going to windshield through. He's going to bring the leg back over the top. We're going to pin, and we're going to go over. He's going to come back in. We're going to go through. Then we're going to go over. We're going to go through. And then we're going to go over. So it's going to be the same drill that we were previously doing, the same two drills. We're now just combining those two drills together. Going through, going over, going through, going over. Keep going, and then switch over. Cool? Let's do it, guys. 1, 2. Hands on, let's go. Beautiful, Tyler. Lovely work. Knee on belly works really, really well with windshields. Okay, this is probably like some of my favorite movement patterns in Jiu-Jitsu is like knee on belly, windshield, top spins. Initially, when we did this, we were far. We're in this range of Jiu-Jitsu where I can't really get any upper body control. I can't get any control of his hips. As I throw this and get to the side, and he throws that leg over the top and I shoot through, look what's happened. I've closed the distance. Even if I can't get any control because Jerome's still fighting, he's pushing me away, escaping his hips, turning towards me, yeah. Even if that's happened, look, I'm only getting closer and getting more control each time. Even if he somehow finds a way to bump me off and turn his hips again, now I'm past. I'm even tighter, okay? So that's what we're working today, to add context to all of the movements so it's not just cardio, all right? So, we're going to start with a knee on belly, okay? Now our next movement is Jerome's going to turn towards us. And as he starts turning towards me this way, we can sense that his back is exposed. So we're going to do the same windshield this time, but over his body, not over his legs. Here, okay? Jerome's going to turn back into me. Now I'm going to windshield over his body again. So this drill is just going to be your opponent on the bottom is turning towards you each time. It's a good exercise and a good exercise for the person, come on top. It's a good exercise for the person on bottom to not just concede getting controlled and dominated in these positions. You want to be looking to like bridge and turn your hips and be always trying to recover your guard anyway, okay? So this is a good exercise for the person on the bottom to turn and get in the habit of turning and framing and doing these things. But as I turn and frame, he's just going to do the same movement over the top each time. Okay, so the person on the bottom is not trying to escape. They're just turning and giving the reaction that the top player needs so they can execute their windshield each time. And you're just going to keep going. Bottom player turning, top player windshielding. Turning, windshielding, turning, windshielding until time's up, then we'll switch. Cool? Yeah? Let's do it, guys. 1, 2. Time. So we're going to add another movement into this. Really important movement. It's called a top spin. All right. So, a little recap. We started on the outside. We went through the legs, Jerome managed to bump us off and get his hips free, and we went over the legs. Again, we was a little bit sloppy somehow. He turns towards us, but we switched to a knee on belly this time. Now we've actually got the pass, to be fair. But he's not going to give this pass up so easy. All right, he turns towards us, planning to like push the knee, but as he goes, we switch and expose the back, okay? So the last movement now is he's going to turn towards me again. This time, when he turns towards me, he's going to push my knee to the floor, and my knee is going to hit the floor. Quick thing as well, your objective when you're transitioning isn't to go through every single one of these movements. If you can only do one transition and you can get to your destination, that's fantastic. You don't need to do all of these. It actually just means you've probably made a bit of mistakes. What I mean by that is this. Let's say I'm on the outside, I'm passing, I come here, and Jerome throws his leg over, and I shoot through here. This should be the beginning of the end now. There shouldn't be much of like him getting his hip out and being able, why is he getting his hip out and exchanging? I probably made some mistake somewhere. At this point, like I was saying to you guys earlier, I'm gonna get tighter. I'm gonna be applying pressure. I'm here, Jerome's in trouble now. Look where his hips are. I'm smashing his hips to the floor with this left leg and keeping him pinned. And this is gonna give me everything I need to start working up the body, advancing my position and getting to where I wanna go, whether it's the back or side control or whatever, right? However, maybe I'm doing this, right? And I'm a little bit sloppy or he bumps me off. What you don't wanna do is panic and go back, okay? So now he's bumped me off and he's facing me again. Snap, snap, what do I do? What do I do? I can't go back through the legs because that's not there, but I can shoot over the legs. Again, this should be done now. We should be looking to slow things down, apply pressure, work our way around the back, get the pass, control our opponent, finish. But again, something goes wrong. Maybe in my, my way to get into knee on belly, I've allowed him to turn and he's pushing me and whatever, and I don't feel comfortable with him in this space. He's not pinned. Maybe I don't feel like I've got him controlled here. All right, if I've got someone in knee on belly, my objective is to keep them pinned. I do not want him turning unless I'm making him turn for a specific reason, which we'll go over. So again, a bit more of a mistake. Maybe we're here, I couldn't pin my opponent and he turns in towards me. Now I need to switch again. So it can look like a fancy little dance as you're doing it, getting all around your opponent, but your objective really is to pass the guard, get to a dominant position and look for a finish. It's not to have a whole merry-go-round of tons of movements for no reason, okay? If your opponent is really fast and they're catching you to every transition, then you need to know how to keep up with them and stay one step ahead. And that's why we're doing all these bits, all right? So we're starting here. And this time we did our windshield, right? And we got to the other side, but Jerome followed us. And as he followed me this time, he pushes my knee off. So I don't have any control now. Look, I'm not connected to Jerome. I'm not pinning him anymore. So what I'm gonna do here is the last movement. It's called a top spin, okay? So this knee, when you guys are doing this drill, this knee stays on the floor initially. Don't start standing up and doing all this other stuff. This knee stays on the floor. This other leg, which should be extended already because you was using it as a knee on belly, is here. This leg is gonna step over his head. One, okay? As this leg steps over his head, the most important thing now is there's a couple of things that all happen in unison, which is my knee on this side is gonna drop to the floor, and as this knee drops to the floor, my elbow is gonna cover his hip this way, and my leg is gonna back step this way. All of those things happen at the same time. So this way. So I'm trying to play knee on belly, but Jerome pushes my knee off, and my knee hits the floor. When my knee hits the floor, this leg's gonna step over into this space. I'm breaking this down in slow motion so you guys understand the steps, but it's a one slick fluid movement. Steps over the head. The knee goes to the floor, and as the knee goes to the floor, my elbow is gonna cover his hip here. Look. And lastly, this leg is gonna back step, and my hip is gonna hit the floor. Okay. The reason why this is so important with my elbow, come back this way. The reason why my elbow is so important here is at this point, I don't have any control of Jerome as I'm doing this movement. So there's nothing stopping Jerome just turning this way and turning into a turtle. Cool, nothing. There's also not much stopping Jerome from just getting his back flat to the mat and me not being able to expose his back. So it's really important that as I do this, I keep all these pieces in place for this reason. Look, my knee hits the floor, this leg steps over. I like personally to use this as a bit of a wedge to keep his back off the mat. Then I come over and bring my elbow in front of his hip because this now stops him from rolling out this way. If he tries to roll out this way, I can block his hip from going that way, and now I can stop his back from hitting the mat here. And now I'm in a great place to start exposing his back and looking for my finish. All right, let's get these steps again. We're gonna be knee on belly. He's gonna push my knee off. My knee is gonna hit the floor. As my knee hits the floor, this leg is gonna step over his head. My knee's gonna hit the floor and my elbow is gonna cover his hip and back step all at the same time. Pushes the knee off. I step over, the knee goes down, elbow covers, hip drops, leg steps back. Knee to the floor. It can help as well in transition if you pull this towards you at times, but again, it's not essential. So we're here, this leg's gonna step over the top, knee goes down, elbow covers, hip back steps. So for our drill, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna start from knee on belly, okay? Our opponent's gonna push the knee off, we're gonna top spin one way. Then we're gonna go the other way, we're gonna top spin the other way. So look, we're here, he pushes my knee, I switch, I top spin. I come back, knee on belly, he pushes my knee, I switch, I top spin. And we're just gonna keep going top spin, top spin, top spin, left and right, left, right, left, right, left, right, until time goes. All right, let's give it a go, guys. 1, 2. So now we're gonna plug everything in. We're gonna plug all of our new fancy moves into each other and build like a nice little cool sequence of them. So we're gonna be on the outside, I'm gonna throw the legs. Jerome's intention as he's firing his leg over is to build a frame and recover his hip. That's what he'll really be doing in reality, right? Getting his guard back. But for the sake of the drill, we're beating the person to the transition every time. So we go, we're gonna throw the leg to the side, and as we throw the leg to the side, we're gonna take a side step. Okay? So we're gonna take this side step and lower our level. As we lower our level, he's gonna throw the leg over the top to start looking to frame. But we're gonna beat that, we see it coming. Comes over, bring a frame, and I'm gonna duck, and I'm gonna windshield, okay? As I duck and windshield, he's gonna power out, he's gonna turn his hips towards me, and he's gonna be here. I'm gonna windshield over the body. Again, he's gonna turn towards me somehow. I made a mistake. I'm gonna go knee on belly. From here, he turns towards me even more. I'm gonna windshield over. From here, he's gonna turn towards me and push my knee off. I'm gonna switch and I'm gonna top spin. And our drill ends here. Then we start back again. Cool? So guys, 1, 2. Cool. Good stuff, guys. It was good movement, good stuff. I saw some very slick movement from a few of you guys. So this is a really key fundamental movement that we need in our jiu-jitsu, okay? There's going to be plenty of opportunities where we're going to find that the back's exposed. expose the back. Start lifting up, exposing the back. If he comes over the top, again, exposes the back. You can start attacking the back, lifting the back in exactly the same way. Every single transition I've shown you today, we can take the back with the horseshoe grip and get our seatbelt and our chair sit, okay? Every single one. If I windshield over the body, expose the back, okay? If I top spin, expose the back. So every single movement I do here that we've done today will expose your opponent's back. The key now is, okay, what you don't want to do is do that whole sequence, just be really tired and be no further forward than you were in the beginning, all right? That'll be a waste of time and a waste of energy. So it's really important that we get this. The movements are nice and they're slick, but this next bit I'm about to show you, please guys, this is the fundamentals of everything, okay? So we'll start from, let's just say we start from the top spin. So he's pushed my knee, I've switched, I've come around, and I'm here, okay? As you see when I do this, the reason why my elbow's here, as I said, is to stop him from turning out too far this way, but it's really important that we backstep the way I'm showing you, because this gives me the leverage to continue to expose the back, all right? Look, I can use this foot, boom, to expose the back and lift his back off the floor even further, okay? This knee, my thigh, is wedged by his back here. Again, this all stops him. These are all frames in place to stop him from flattening his back to the mat. If he just flattens his back to the mat here, that's annoying, because I just done all of that stuff, and now I'm in side control and his back's not exposed. So none of that was worth it. It was just me just moving around, okay? I want to expose the back, because now I'm going to attack and I'm going to get to a dominant position and look for a finish. So how do I do this? It's really important that this hand is positioned correctly, because if this hand is covering the hip as it was, it's very easy for you to now just slip and control the far collar, okay? Not the top one, far collar, the bottom one. Next, this top hand is going to come over the top here. All right, I'm just going to look for a seatbelt for those that know. I'm just going to look to bring this hand over the top, and I'm here, okay? Once I'm in this position, I'm going to turn to my toes and drive weight into his back here. See what happens there? Or that can make a really light person feel incredibly heavy, all right? Because the bigger person or whoever is going to be trying to flatten their back to the mat. But the leverage that you generate from this control and just being up on your toes here is a lot. Okay, he's not going to be able to get his back flat to the mat here. I can just hold him here and keep him pinned. But I'm going to stay here. My objective isn't to stay there, okay? It's just transition. One, switch here. Next, I want to slide my top knee along his spine, okay? So my knee and my shin is building a frame along his spine, just like this, okay? This other leg here is inserting here, while I have this control. So now my whole chest is connected to his back, and I can lean forward into him here to stop him from getting his back to the mat. I've now covered the space where his back could get to the mat. Can't get his back to the mat anymore because I'm there. So he can't get there, all right? Next, from this position, I'm gonna take this top leg and I'm just gonna step it over into this space nice and tight. Okay, so I want this leg, this foot, this heel to come in nice and tight to his hip, and I'm keeping everything nice and cinched in. Nice and tight here, no space, okay? You really wanna keep your chin to your opponent's shoulder up here. I'm kind of keeping my chin a bit high just because I want to speak and not be muffled, but ideally you want to be here, ear to ear, chin to shoulder. Okay, but for the sake of this drill, I'm just going to show you from here. Next, I now need to lift him and take his back. Common mistake that people do here is they do this. They drag, and it's really hard, especially if you've got somebody heavy. It's really hard to drag them and expose their back, and you create loads of space between your chest and his back. So what I want to do is I just want to sit him up there. I want him to face the wall. Here. And I can use this leg to reinforce. You see how this leg is reinforcing and keeping him up? So as I lift him, I bring this leg here. And now this reinforces and keeps him up. So now I'm no longer using like any force or anything. I've just sat him up to his side. And now I'm just going to fall to my side, inserting my bottom hook, taking my top hook, and inserting my top hook. Keeping my chin connected to his shoulder the whole time, and keeping my hands connected here. So again. Starting from here, from our top spin. This could be from any of the positions, but we'll start from the top spin one today. I'm gonna switch this grip to the far lapel and get nice and tight here. The top hand's gonna come over his shoulder and grab over the top of that bottom hand. Now we're gonna come up onto my toes, just so I can switch and enter into this position. Keeping pressure, keeping his back off the mat. From here, I'm gonna step this top leg over the top and insert into this space. Then I'm gonna sit him up, forwards. I'm not gonna drag him to the side, I'm gonna sit him up, forwards. And lastly, I'm just gonna insert my bottom hook, through to the side, and insert my top hook. And now I'm on the back. Now we're in a great territory to start looking for our choking grips, whatever we wanna do, rear nakeds, all of that fancy stuff to get the finish. That guy's standing, not a picture, just standing. Perfect. Cool guys, yeah, great work everyone. I hope you guys can start incorporating some of those transitions into your game. I think these are really important. They're like a big part of like my jiu-jitsu and how I'm able to kind of like beat people to the punch. And oftentimes when you do this right, people will say to you, "You're so fast." You're not really that fast. I'm just mentally faster than you. I just know what you're gonna do before you do it, and I'm prepared for it, and I beat you to that transition every time. So it may seem like you're this rapid guy who's just spinning around, but you're not. You just know what they're gonna do, and you just beat them to it every time. And it gives the illusion that you're rapid. So yeah, hopefully you guys can add that into your game and do some good stuff. But like I said, I'll leave some time on the clock now, guys. You guys could spar for the next 5-10 minutes, warm down, stretch, but other than that, good work, guys.
That's great.